Hey, welcome back to the channel. Got a 2016 Dodge Journey RT. Gonna do a quick video on how to replace the transmission filter and fluid. This Dodge Journey has the 6-speed 6.2 TE transmission. Since I'll be jacking up the front end, just went ahead and blocked the rear wheel. Now at the front of the vehicle here, I'm gonna grab my jack and I'm just gonna jack up right on this cross member here, and then we'll get our jack stands on the pinch welds by the doors there. And then we'll go ahead and get our jack stands in place. We're just gonna go right underneath the pinch weld here. I already got the other side set up. Then go ahead and lower your jack. And go ahead and pop your hood. All right, so with your hood popped, this particular vehicle, Dodge and Chrysler, went away with the transmission dipstick. It's because they want you to bring it to the dealer to get serviced. So if you come over here by the air filter housing, you can see that little cap there. It says for dealer use only. That's gonna be where we fill the transmission. And that's essentially where the dipstick should be, but it's not. So let me zoom in here. Go ahead and pull that plug and it just twists off. So let me get that off really quick here. And that's what that looks like. And see if I can zoom in here. So you can see for dealer use only. So you can get away with buying this Dorman 917327, and essentially it's just a replacement dipstick, but you can't leave it in there all the time. You just use it to check your level. I did do a complete video on how to use this about a month ago, so I'll put that in the description as well, so you can check that video out on how to use it. And now I did check this level and it is full beforehand. So what I'm gonna do is we'll drop the pan and then we'll measure how much came out of the pan and the filter, and then we'll put that exact amount in, and then we'll drive it around and do a final reading with this dipstick at the end of the video. Okay, so underneath the driver's side here, front, you're gonna see your transmission pan right here, and there's gonna be 12 8mm bolts that we're gonna need to pull. If you have the 4-speed, I think it's 14 bolts. So the 6-speed has 12 bolts that we need to pull. And as you can see, it's kind of wet around here. And then right at this bolt here, I think it's leaking around the gasket, because Dodge just uses some RTV from the factory to seal these. So let's go ahead and pull all these bolts, and then we'll let the fluid drain. And like I said, just make sure you got a drain pan. This is a clean one. That way we can dump this into a container to where we can measure how much came out, and then we'll put that exact amount in. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and start by pulling these ones towards the back first, and then I'll work my way up the sides, and then I'll do these front ones last. That way maybe the pan can kind of tilt and drain a little better and not make a mess. You can see it's already leaking there. So kind of let that drip down into the pan here. And then I'll just kind of loosen these top ones, but not completely pull them out. And that just made a mess, so it's kind of like that. I'll go ahead and let that drain a little more here. All right, so that's pretty much down to a little dribble there. So let's go ahead and pull the rest of these ones. So now with your filter exposed here, let's go ahead and remove it. And you got 2 bolts. That's going to be a Torx T25, and then same thing on the bottom there. And now we should be able to, let me zoom out here a little bit, pull this filter downward because it clicks in right up here. So you may have to wiggle it back and forth. Just like that. And then I'll go ahead and drain the rest of this that's in the filter here into the pan. All right guys, so while that's still draining underneath there, I'm gonna go ahead and clean up this pan. And then here's your magnet. So go ahead and remove your magnet, and we'll go ahead and get this all cleaned up. I'll just use some brake clean, some paper towels, and then also scrape off all this old RTV gasket material. So let me go ahead and get this all cleaned up. All right guys, so I got my new filter here. Just got it at Advance, part number 96073. You can see it's made by Pro King. I'll put a link in the description or for a maybe the same one or one that'll work for you. What you want to do, just compare it to your old one here. You can see pretty much the same thing, and then flip it around here. So just like that. Then you can see, kind of see in there, it's pretty dirty on the old filter there. So it's a good thing we're changing it out. And so the new one does come with this. That's what pushes up into the transmission there. But these can be really hard to get out, and sometimes you can damage the aluminum pulling this out because it sticks in there pretty good. So I'm just going to leave the one that's in there already. I didn't see anything wrong with it, so we'll just take that off, and then we should be able to push it up in. And then today I'll just be using SuperTech ATF Plus 4. That's what Dodge recommends in these transmissions. This stuff's pretty, I think it's about $6 or so at Walmart. It's the cheapest I found. And then I poured some in this cap here. Just gonna put some fresh stuff around this right here. And let's go ahead and stick that up in the vehicle. All right, so let's go ahead and stick the new filter in. That's the ring I was talking about. Like I said, this can be really hard to get out. And then if you start using a screwdriver and all that, trying to pry it out of there, you can end up scratching the aluminum here and damaging it. So I don't see anything wrong with this one, so I'm just gonna leave it in, like I said. So grab a new filter, make sure it's nice and clean, and let's go ahead and push that up in there. And then you'll just push it up just enough to where you can get your screws in there. So let me grab the screws. Go ahead and get these started by hand. And let's go ahead and tighten those up. And now I'm not sure on the exact torque of these screws, but you don't want to go too tight to where you strip them out. I'm gonna go about like that. All right guys, so as you can see, got my pan all cleaned up here. Got rid of most of that old RTV that was on there. And then also got the magnet cleaned up. So I'll go ahead and put that back where it was. And then instead of using RTV, went ahead and bought this Fel-Pro TOS 18757, which is supposed to fit this transmission. I'll put a link in the description. You can get it on Amazon. It's like $9. As you can see, fits up just perfect on there. And Fel-Pro claims you don't need to use any type of sealant with this. So I'm just gonna go ahead and install it up on there like that. This is a lot less messier, plus you don't have to wait for the RTV to set up before you start filling. So we should be able to just put this up in there and then start filling. And then also what I'll do is I'll get my bolts through all these holes, and you can see that kind of holds the gasket in place. So let me get all these put in, and then we'll put it up in the car. All right, so as you can see, you got all that cleaned up as well. This is gonna be hard not to keep that clean, because it's just one to keep dripping here. But get that cleaned up as best as you can. Go ahead and grab your pan with all your bolts. And let's get that set up in there. And then I'm just gonna take my socket and do each corner real quick, kind of get those started. And you want to just do this by hand so they all get in there evenly. And then just going back and forth. Then go ahead and grab your torque wrench, and you're going to want to torque these to 105 inch-pounds or 8.75 foot-pounds. And I'm just going to kind of go in a crisscross pattern here. All right, so I think I got them all torqued. I'm just gonna go all the way around now in a circle just to make sure they're all tight. And then I'll just take some brake cleaner and just clean some of these parts off really quick. Next, we can go ahead and jack it up again and get our jack stands and lower it to the ground. All right, guys, so I got this just an old oil container here that holds 5 quarts. So I got a funnel. We'll go ahead and start pouring in what's in that pan into here, and we'll see how much came out. And now I did spill a little bit when I was sliding the pan out from underneath the vehicle, so I lost maybe half a quart or so. So just be careful as you guys are sliding that pan out. Don't do what I just did. So let's go ahead and fill this and see what we got. All right, so taking a look here, let me zoom in. So it looks like quart's gonna be on this side, and you can see we're sitting right at 4.5. And like I said, I spilled some when I was pulling the pan out. So I'd say right around 4.75 to 5 quarts is what we're gonna need to add. All right, so now we should be ready to fill. Just got a long funnel, works the best on here. Make sure it's clean, and then go ahead and stick it in where we pulled that plug from. And then really quick, I'll show you. So here on the owner's manual, looks like it's on page 115. You can see automatic transmission here, and you can see use only ATF +4 automatic transmission fluid. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add 4.5 quarts, because that's what we pulled out of it, even though like I said, I spilled a little bit. I'm not exactly sure how much when I slid the pan out from under the vehicle. So I'm just gonna do 4.5 for now to be safe, because I don't want to overfill it. And then since I got that aftermarket dipstick, I'll go ahead and check it after we get it warmed and go through all the gears, and then I'll see if I need to top it off. So go ahead and start adding. And then, like I said, I'll do about half of this quart here. All right, guys, so I think I'm just gonna add the rest of that half a quart because I was just looking at the filter box here and I just noticed this. And you can see on here it says service fill 5.5 quarts. And then, of course, the recommended ATF plus 4. Like I said, I just noticed this, so I'm gonna go ahead and fill it with the rest of that to make it an even 5 quarts. And hopefully I don't need to go get another half a quart, but I'll do the 5 quarts and then we'll see where we're sitting at. And then go ahead and pull your funnel. Try not to make a mess with it. And then we'll go ahead and replace our cap here. Just twist that on. And let's go ahead and start it. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and start the vehicle here. And then you can see I had it already set on the transmission temp, so we're looking at 68 degrees right now. I'm gonna go ahead and just slowly shift through each gear. And then back up. And I'm going to do this quite a few times just to get that fluid flowing through. And then I'll also go ahead and put it down here in manual mode, and I'll go through the gears. Not sure if that's going to make much difference, but you can see it going through each gear. All right, and we'll go ahead and just leave it running for a little bit here, and we'll crawl underneath and check for any leaks. All right, guys, so with the vehicle running here, you can see looks like we don't have any major leaks or anything, so we should be good. I'm gonna go ahead and take this for a spin, get the transmission temp warmed up to where it should be, and then we'll check with the aftermarket dipstick. All right, so you can see I just got back from a drive here. You can see the transmission temp is now at 181 degrees Fahrenheit. So let me go ahead and leave it running. We'll pop the hood and we'll check the level with the aftermarket dipstick. All right, so go ahead and remove your plug again. And then this is going to be the instructions for the dipstick that it comes with. And then you'll come down to Dodge Journey. That's going to be 6.2 TE transmission, and we're going to refer to chart C, and there's the years, but it shows on Dorman's website that this has been updated to cover the 2016. So if we go over here to chart C, 6.2 TE, and we were at right at 181 or so. So I'm going to go off the 180 mark on degrees Fahrenheit, come up. This is going to be our minimum fill line. So that's going to be the 36, or the maximum fill line, which is going to be 48. So I want to get it in between 36 and 48. And grab the dipstick here. Switch hands. I'm not sure if it's going to zoom in or not. And of course it's not zooming in, but the 36 it's going to be right there, and then the 48 right about there. I'm not sure why my camera's not zooming in on that. There it is. So you can see the 36 and the 48. So let's go ahead and stick this in and check it. So go ahead and grab your dipstick. Just stick it down in there. And this won't go in all the way. It goes in about a quarter or so. That's normal. So we'll pull it out. Bring it over here. So you can see we're sitting right at pretty much the 30 mark. And we need to be at the 36 to 48 mark. So I'm gonna add just a little bit there. So it may take, like I said, about 5.5 quarts. So I'm gonna go ahead and add about a quarter quart, and we'll see where we're sitting at. So I'm gonna go ahead and let that sit for probably a couple minutes, drain down in there, and then we'll recheck here. All right, guys, so it's been a few minutes here. I just checked the transmission temp. Looks like it dropped down to 177, so we're still good. Go ahead and grab your dipstick again, and let's recheck. Here. So again, we're looking for the 36 to 48 mark, and you can see we're sitting right just about 40. So I think I'll go ahead and just add a quarter more of that quart, and that should bring us right up to 5.5 quarts, like that filter box said. All right, so that's going to do it for the video. Again, this was a 2016 Dodge Journey RT. Went ahead and replaced the transmission filter along with the fluid. And I do recommend, if you guys have this vehicle and are planning on keeping it, picking up one of these aftermarket transmission dipsticks. Really helps out. The Dorman 917327, which I'll put a link in. And you can also check out my other video that I did, a little review on this dipstick. So you can check that out. And if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. Check out my other videos. Got quite a few on this one. And I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.